But let's move it on, Robbie. Other games going on and other title challenges did play this weekend. Let's move to Arsenal, Rob. They drew 1-1 with Brighton. Kai Havertz scores in the 38th minute and João Pedro scores in the 58th minute. But something that happened in the 49th minute, Rob, grabbed all the headlines. And Declan Rice takes his first red card of his career for 2 yellows. The first challenge earlier on was a sliding, lunging tackle that was definitely a yellow card. But the second yellow card, Rob, for what's the word terminology? Delaying a restart. It's got pundits and former players and fans kind of irate. I'll let you kind of talk through what you thought about the decision.
Well, the reason why pundits and people are irate, and I assume these are few people. I think let's just put some fact out there. Declan Rice came out after the game and said he understands that by the letter of the law, he did nick the ball away, and because of that, it's a yellow card event. He's on his yellow, so he gets it. So we all know that, Rob. So we come to, for me, two issues. First one, consistency or inconsistency. When João Pedro smacks a ball at 50 yards down the pitch before and nothing happens, Rob.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And for Declan Rice to do that, I'm thinking, why did we have to give a yellow card? To the point where I'm saying, Rob, could the referee not have gone to Declan Rice and gone, don't be silly, look what you've done, this could be yellow. I don't think anybody in football will be going, referee's made a massive error there, he's got to send Declan Rice off. I don't think that would happen. So if people are going to that, well, it's a letter of law, yes, he did kick it, but it's almost like, Rob, let's forget having humans, let's just have robots refereeing. Let's forget that it's, that it's a game with human beings and things happen, and sometimes you go to a player, come on, like they used to back in the day, and I don't think, I just felt like, has Chris Kavanagh gone home on Saturday night and thought, yeah, I really did well in that situation? I don't think so, mate. It just feels cold. It feels slightly harsh, unnecessary, based on, listen, if you give João Pedro one, then I think the argument's slightly different. You go, listen, he's stopping both those things. I mean, Declan Rice, the ball was rolling, Declan Rice isn't really looking at it, then he flicks it away, Veltman comes and clashes him on the shin. I mean, the whole thing just was, I didn't feel it needed to go that way. It did. It's been recognised by the player. Arteta's almost saying, yeah, but he completely, what his amazed by it. Well, Earle said it's a clear red, as you would do on the opposition. But I just felt it was unnecessary.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think, I think I said afterwards that, I mean, the referee could have gone over there, Rob, because, Veltman kind of kicked him as he went to kick the ball, and it's like there was a bit of a coming together. Declan Rice goes to the ground. Just go over there and listen, guys, like, calm down here. Declan, be careful. Absolutely. There's a challenge there.
Manage the situation.
And fudge it a little bit. Fudge it into a challenge, a coming together, confrontation, instead of going exactly to the little detail that has the biggest impact. There was other ways that he could have dealt with that. And no, you're right. Nobody's saying, well, kick the ball away, it's a second yellow card. The first is a pretty basic error with João Pedro, kicks the ball away. It's like, well, why wouldn't you
whacks the ball away, by the way.
He whacks it a long way away. And Declan Rice as well. I mean, if he's delaying the start, he's knocked it like a yard. It's only going to be a couple of seconds.
Anyway, so
the ball may not have stopped by,
ball's rolling. So even if he took it, he'd have had to come back. So he's not really delaying the start.
But the rule... The rule doesn't mention that.
I don't think he had to go there. I thought it was really, really poor, humane refereeing of the situation. It's a guy who's going, I've got the letter of the law behind me and I'm going to use it.
No, you're right, mate. And
spoil the game, mate. And spoil the game.
I hate red cards. I hate it. I couldn't be more fascinated with, particularly in this game with Earle, the way that he plays at Brighton. Again, it's a fascinating game to watch. And then when that happens, I'm like, because it's a totally different game. Brighton are good. So normally when a team goes down to 10 men against Arsenal, when Arsenal are at home, you kind of think they can, but you kind of think they'll find a way to win. Not against Brighton. Not against Brighton, because they use that spare man. They knocked the ball around really well, and Arsenal were really kind of forced back a little bit and had to defend. They did have a chance. Kai Havertz late, 76th minute. I think he went through and didn't take it. points drop for Arsenal, Rob. How damaging is it? I mean, it's really early in the season.
I saw Bex asked you the question. We're like, we're 3 games in with international, but it almost feels like awkward to be saying, how damaging. But, mate, there's a City effect that builds a pressure that every point dropped, a decent draw at home will start to feel or a decent draw anywhere starts to feel disappointing because of Man City. And because of what Man City can and will do.
No, and it's such a long way to go, and we know, Rob, that both of these clubs, and Liverpool's got to be chucked in there as well. They're not going to win every game, and they are going to drop points. And Man City are going to have difficult periods. City often have a difficult period at the start, and they finish incredibly well. Maybe it's different this year. Arsenal, again, they're not going to win 38 out of 38. It's just. It's just sour taste because of the way that the game changed on that red card. But Brighton are very good. I enjoy watching Brighton.
Yeah.
And the way that they play, Rob, is a little different again. Because I went back actually on Thursday. I thought, what's going on at Brighton? And you don't get. So I went back and studied the game. Against Manchester United, and they're kind of tricky. The way they play tactically in the middle again. They got this midfield kind of moving around, and Pedro going from a forward into a left number 8.
To the left side, doesn't he? He likes him down the left side to play into, and
really impressed with him.
Like Milner came off, didn't he? Lost James Milner, and was it Ayari?
Ayari went coming. Yeah,
Balaba in there as well, mate. I mean, Matoma, João Pedro.
They got Enciso, Rob off the bench, Ruter off the bench. They got a good squad. They got great options.
Simon Adingra off the bench.
I know.
These talent there. And it was really interesting, mate, because as I was watching that game, I was on our Twitter feed a little bit and just looking at games, and somebody put about, Herzl, what a great start, 7 points, and he's made a good impression already after the De Zerbi, and how things maybe ended a little bit bitterly there. And I kind of just put a tweet out just saying, as we know, Paul Barber, who's the CEO there, and Tony Bloom's the chairman, just put like ownership of Brighton, know what they're doing, always trust in them or something.
Yeah.
The amount of Brighton fans and people who come back, Rob, and just went, that's this club, that's who we believe in. That's, there's a real kind of big football community growing around what Brighton are. And people, I think, getting behind it, Rob, that, they aren't spending loads of money, they recruit properly, they develop talent, they sell some when they have to. Remember, Pascal Gross has gone out the door. They haven't even missed him. They bring in,
lots of players there, Rob. They spent a lot of money this winter. Like, this is crazy. $250 million. $250 million. So it's almost like the players they've sold over the last couple of seasons, all that profit from the Caicedos and McAllisters and everybody else. They're like, wow, the market's kind of low. And a lot of these big clubs, the Villas and Newcastles and others, can't spend money. We're going to nick into the market. I think they're really smart.
Players who can affect what happens on the pitch, mate. As you say, Ruter is going to be an interesting one, because we've seen a little bit of him at Leeds, and we weren't 100% sure. We kind of, but João is a great example of, a player that was at Watford. We've seen him in the Premier League. We've seen bits of him. He's got pace, and but he looks a whole different category. He looks to me, Rob, like he's going to be one of them that could be next step again, like a Brighton player who has 2 or 3 seasons, somebody goes, bang, here's like 60 or 70 for him.
Yeah, brilliant. It's a great story. It's a great story. Frustrating for Arsenal, really impressive from Brighton. They've had a brilliant start to the season, but it finished 1-1.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.